Hi guys, my name is Dani Calleiro, aka Dani Cimarelli. You probably know me from Cimarelli. That's what most people know me from. And I have gained so many followers on TikTok recently, and I made a video about my life story. And in the comments of that, they were also like, I need a podcast. I could listen to you talk forever. I want to hear you talk about this for longer. So I decided to kind of do the thing that I've been wanting to do for years now, which is just make a damn podcast. Why not? I should just do it, right? In this first, episode, you could say, I want to just give you guys some backstory on who I am and my life and where I'm at today, because I know that most of you listening probably know this already, but a lot of you probably don't. And based on all the new followers that I've gotten on TikTok, a lot of you haven't seen all my YouTube videos. You don't know everything about my life. So I'm sorry if this is stuff you've already heard before. You don't have to watch this video if you've already heard it, but this is going to be my most intimate and raw and just letting loose perspective on my life thus far. So let's get into it. My sisters asked me to join this band when I was 10, and it was like the best thing ever. I was so excited. I felt like such a big girl. I remember we lived on a hill when I was a child, and there was this ledge, I guess you could say, that you could stand on, and it overlooked the whole town, everything. It was beautiful. And when I was a kid, I was a very dramatic in my head, thought I was in a movie kind of child. I thought I was the main character, definitely from a very young age. And I used to stand on that ledge and I would have my Walkman, which if you don't know what that is, it's like a CD player, like a portable CD player. And I was playing a CD by Carrie Underwood called All American Girl. And I would listen to Britney Spears and I would listen to all these female artists, and I wanted to be a damn pop star. Now, was it my life's dream? No, I had about 500 other dreams, like being a fashion designer or being a nurse or all kinds of things. I kind of just wanted to be happy and have fun, and being a pop star was one of those things. But I was so excited when they asked me to join this band because it was my time to shine. I wasn't that into singing. Honestly, I wasn't a great singer at the time because I was 10 years old. I was really good for my age, and I will give myself that. But I honestly didn't care that much about the singing part. I just really liked performing, and I liked being with my sisters and having fun. So I joined the band when we already had traction. I didn't have to do a single thing. I didn't have to lift a finger. By the time I joined, they already had a couple videos go viral on YouTube and have a couple million views or something like that. So I was just walking into the easiest thing in my life. I was literally walking into a record deal, because my record deal, I remember it was I was the negotiating chip. I don't know how to explain that, but crazy experience as is. If I were to just tell you guys that was how my life happened, you would be like, holy shit, that's crazy. What happened, right? But there are so many other things that go into my life that make it just a crazy and weird life and make me the person that I am today. But that's the first one. Holy shit, I had a record deal when I was 10 years old. So we moved down to LA from Sacramento, and we start doing the recording sessions. We start, doing photo shoots. We are talking to magazines. We're doing YouTube videos all the time, always rehearsing. And I started working. It was a full-time job. Was it 9 to 5? No, it was a weird schedule, and it wasn't I was working all the time, but I was busy as hell, especially for an 11 and 12-year-old, that's not exactly normal. And so I didn't realize at the time that was traumatic in a sense. And my therapist explained this to me as an adult now, but it isn't normal for a kid to be in an adult environment. Before I get too deep into this, I need to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is BetterHelp. I'm going to get really deep into my life and my mental health. And I just want to say that I would not be the person that I am today without therapy. And I would not have gotten through any of the things that I've been through in my life without therapy. I've had so many different therapists. I've tried so many different forms of therapy. And honestly, all of them changed my life in some sort of way. I've done online therapy. I've done in-person therapy. It's just a really important thing. And I'm really happy that places like BetterHelp are making it more accessible for people like you and me. So if you don't know what BetterHelp is, it's basically just a platform that allows you to do private online therapy with a licensed therapist. There are over 20,000 therapists available on BetterHelp. And so there's a very broad range of expertise. And also you can get access to therapists that wouldn't normally be in your area. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs for your therapy. And then you will get matched with a counselor. And then once you're matched, you can share video and phone sessions, as well as exchange private, unlimited messages with your therapist. And everything that you share on BetterHelp is completely confidential. And if you need to, you can request a new therapist at any time for no additional charge. Therapy has taught me a lot of things, but honestly, the biggest thing was probably that my life had a lot of trauma in it and I needed to deal with it. And the only way to really deal with that is through therapy. So if you guys want to try therapy and you want to try BetterHelp, join Join the 3 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. You can get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Calleiro. That's spelled CALLEIRO and better HELP. Or you can check out the link in my description. Okay, let's get back to the episode. It isn't like normal for a kid to be in an adult environment. Even if as a child you think it's fun, even if you're having a good time and nothing inherently bad is actually happening to you, I learned that a child being put in an adult environment is trauma in itself, which I don't know, I feel like people throw around the word trauma a little bit too much for my liking nowadays, but I will just use it this one time and say that I do think that was a little bit traumatic. And I immediately started to notice the mental health repercussions at a very young age. And I don't know if this was because I was in this adult environment and because I was experiencing trauma or whatever, but I remember having thoughts of very negative, bad things like killing myself. Sorry, I couldn't say that out loud. I did not realize this until I look back on it, but I had people, comparing me to my sisters. I had people saying that I was the ugly one. I was the untalented one. I was the youngest one. So of course I was going to be the least conventionally attractive to adults. And also I was going to be the worst singer because I was literally a fucking child. But regardless, I don't even know why I didn't put that together at the time, that was maybe messing with my self-esteem. I thought I was totally fine with it. And I remember my sisters, we would meet and we would try to talk about it and be like, are you guys okay? Is this affecting you? What's going on? And I don't really know if I was upfront with it. I don't fully remember. I just do remember them trying to do what they can, because I think they realized that I was a child and they realized that it was potentially, negatively affecting me. But I never talked about it outright, I don't think, with them. It's the kind of thing you just can't do anything about it. Until you're an adult and you're looking back on it, you can't do anything about it. Unless someone steps in and is like, hey, this is messed up or whatever. But no one's really going to do that, because I was having so much fun in this band, so why the hell would you take me out of it, that? I think that's what people were thinking. I felt like I was maturing really fast. Everybody told me I was mature for my age, and I felt like I was above other people. I kind of got a big ego because of it, but at the same time I felt like the worst person in the world. So it was this weird dichotomy, if that's the right term, of feeling like the best and the worst. And then also I started to feel like I wanted to be normal. So for those of you who don't know, I was homeschooled my entire life, and I have 10 siblings. So there's 11 of us. My family was a Catholic homeschool family growing up. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore as a, 13, 14-year-old going into middle school. I actually started doing water polo at the local high school because I had Wednesdays and Saturdays free, basically, or Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And it was the best thing of my entire life. I was like, holy shit, I can finally do something normal, in the movies. I can do sports like everybody else. But I remember when I started doing water polo is when I first started to notice that I was so different. That thing where you don't realize you're different until somebody tells you or until somebody points it out? I feel like water polo was kind of that for me, because I would be sitting on the bleachers waiting for practice to start with my friends in water polo, or the girls who I kind of thought were my friends. And they would be talking about school, and they'd be talking about their crushes, and they'd be talking about their teachers. It was things like that where I just realized I was different. I noticed that because I didn't go to school, it put me at a different place in life than them, and I didn't like it. So kind of from that point on, I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be normal. It's not that I didn't want to do Cimarelli, because I thought that it was awesome and I felt really cool traveling and touring, and I had some amazing experiences at the time, and I was generally having fun. But at the same time, on bad days, I wanted to be normal and I wanted to just go to school, and I thought that maybe I could go to middle school or high school and still be in the band. But that just honestly wouldn't have worked, because school takes up so much time. I actually had to quit water polo because I couldn't even do water polo in the band. There was not enough time, especially with all the traveling. I would have missed so much school. So from then on, I think is where my resentment kind of started to grow and grow and grow and grow. And I started to enjoy my life less. I started to enjoy the band less. By the time I was 17, 18 years old, I was planning on what college I wanted to go to. And I was talking to my friends about how I wanted to, wanted the band to end. And one day the band would end and then I would go do something else. And I was daydreaming about it. Again, it wasn't even because I hated what I was doing. It was just I wanted to do something else. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be different. Well, actually, I wanted to be normal, but I wanted to be different than my family. I started to feel that thing of becoming an adult where you just want to do your own thing. And I said this on TikTok, but I'll kind of reiterate. I was always saying when the band ends, then I'll go do my own thing. But the band wasn't ending, and I was getting older and older and older, and my sisters were getting married and they were doing all the things that I thought would be the end of the band, and it wasn't ending. They were just kind of making it work with their lifestyle, because I realized, and this is what I realized, they were just a lot more passionate about it than I was. And I started smoking weed when I was younger, when I was like 17, which by the way is not good. Underage illegal smoking is not good. PSA. I was kind of having my rebellious phase, and I just wanted to do anything to get out of the band meetings and out of the practices and go home and smoke or hang out with my friends or do whatever. And it was not a good situation to be in, but I didn't really think I had another choice. Like, I didn't think leaving was an option. And I also kind of convinced myself that I didn't want to. Like, I knew I wasn't happy, but I think I just blamed it on other things in my life. And I don't know, it's like Cimarelli was like something that was growing and like attached to my body. And I don't want to make it a negative connotation, but like it felt like it was my left arm, and I can't just cut off my left arm. I need my left arm. You know what I mean? It's always been there since I was born. I have not known a time in my life when it wasn't here. So how the hell am I supposed to just cut it off? You know what I mean? So I didn't really realize that leaving was an option until I met my husband, because he came in and he did the same thing with the Catholic Church, which I was a part of, but that is a completely different episode. He came in with a completely outside perspective when I first met him, and he was like, hey, you're not happy, just so you know. And I think I really needed that push because none of my friends really knew. I didn't really have any real friends. I don't speak to anyone that I was friends with at the time in my life. He really made me realize that leaving was an option. It was like terrifying because once he pointed it out, I realized I wanted to do it. And once I realized that I could do it, I was like, holy fuck, how am I supposed to do that? Like, I don't even like confronting people about little things. I don't like when my friends are mad at me. I don't like when my family is mad at me. I hate arguing. I hate getting a text saying, hey, can we talk? That's my literal fucking nightmare. That is my nightmare. I don't want to hear that ever. And so to think about me going to my sisters and being like, hey guys, I want to leave Cimarelli. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not want to do that. However, I kind of realized that it was starting to be necessary because these ladies were not going to end the band. They're having a great time. I'm the only one not having a great time. So it's about to be on me to leave rather than for everything to end. So the way I kind of approached it was little by little. I remember that the first thing I did actually was get a job at H&M. And I haven't even talked about this that much on the internet, but I was thinking, I want to see what it's like to not do Cimarelli every single day of my life, right? And I told my sister about this, and my sister and I were kind of beefing at the time, and I don't even think she wanted me around the whole time anyway, because I was kind of being an asshole when I was there because I was so unhappy. So she was like, sure, go do the part-time job. Let's figure it out. So I start my part-time job. I start working at H&M. I do like Tuesdays, Thursdays, like 3 days a week, maybe, for 5-hour shifts. That's it. And I felt like a whole new world was opened up. The fact that I wasn't doing it every single day, the fact that I wasn't doing it all day, every single day, it really solidified my idea of leaving. And I was so happy about it. I think from then it was just kind of a gradual thing. It was like that quote from that book, falling in love with her was like falling asleep a little bit and then all at once or something. I don't fucking know what the quote was, but I think that's what it was. That's the best way to describe it. And to be real with you guys, this was the most traumatic time of my life. And I said I don't like the word trauma in the beginning of this episode, but I'm going to bring it up one more time. That was the most traumatic time of my life. I was having so many panic attacks, meltdowns, horrible conversations with so many different people. When it was announced and that I was leaving and everything, so much hate on the internet from people saying that my husband was manipulating me. People were gaslighting me into believing that my husband was gaslighting me. Oh my God, it was crazy. I just remembered that the other day. But remember when I told you guys that he was kind of the reason why I realized I wanted to leave? Yeah. People knew that, and so they thought that he was telling me to leave. They didn't really understand that he was kind of just, the straw that broke the camel's back or whatever the metaphor is. They assumed that he was the cause and he was forcing me to do it, or he was asking me to do it, or he was taking advantage of me. I don't know. At the end of it, and I don't even want to talk about the time of my life because I can't talk about it without shaking. But at the end of it, I want to say after a solid 6 months, maybe a year, I started to feel really good. I immediately felt good about my decision on like the first week when I wasn't doing Cimarelli full time. Like maybe after the holidays, January came around, I usually would have gone back to work to start with Cimarelli, and I didn't. And I felt so good. And guys, I just want to say this isn't shade to my sisters. I hope you've gotten that in this episode, in this video. It's not because I hated them. It's not because we hated each other. And it's not because of any reason other than I was unhappy. Now that disclaimer is out of the way. When I had my first like couple weeks of just being married and being alone, did I mention I got married at 19? I probably should have mentioned that, but that's a different episode. So many things to go into here. But when I was freshly married, I was 19 years old. I had just left the band. I had all these life changes that were kind of settling in. And when I realized that they had really settled in, I was like, wow, this is what I've been waiting for. Like this peace and this control over my life, this like possibility that I have, it was amazing. And I feel like everyone has this fear of starting over, and people get very settled into a job or a school or a relationship or a routine or whatever. And it might not be serving them anymore, but they're really scared to leave it and they're really scared to not do it. But for me, the moment that I stopped doing it, it was like bliss. It was amazing. And I just want to encourage all of you listening or watching, if you have something, and this is like my biggest message that I push on people, if you have something that you want to do, please just fucking do it. Like seriously, just do it. I know it's scary. I know some things you don't always have the resources or the time to do or whatever, but like at least work towards it, right? Like at least make it a long-term goal if you can't do it right now. But if it is one of those things that you can just go do right now, but you're just too scared to do it, like you have to do it. Because I feel like, and I'm getting a little philosophical here, but I feel like we have gut instincts. And we have things that we just know in our souls are right or wrong. And we need to listen to those things. Sometimes our own thoughts can lead us astray. But I guess the way that you kind of figure out if something is right for you and you differentiate between a good life move and a bad life move, like a life decision, is just by how much peace you feel. And for me, I had so much trauma and so many problems when I was actually going through the change of leaving. I was so scared. I was so scared of not being in Cimarelli anymore and starting this new life, especially because I was getting married at the same time, which I didn't even mention in this, but I feel like everybody knows. But I was doing so many things at once. But I will say, at the same time, I had the deepest peace ever. And after the fact, I had so much peace. Like I had never felt that kind of peace in my entire life, guys. I am riddled with anxiety, okay? I have not felt peace like that. And honestly, the peace continues to grow. Like it was sort of like I had an island in the middle of this storm and the island was my peace. And it was like I would have a panic attack or I'd have a meltdown or I'd have a freak out or a bad conversation. But I still felt this thing and this island that I could go on and hold on to. I don't know, I'm losing my metaphor here, but I had this peace that I could hold on to. And the peace was that I knew it was the right decision. So to finish this tangent, I'm just saying you'll know if something's right for you because you'll feel a certain peace with it, in my opinion. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean it's going to be fun. But it means that even through the hard times, you will feel right. You'll be like, yeah, this might suck and this might be really confusing and bad right now, but I know it's right. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like it's the biggest lesson I've learned. So if I don't impart it on other people, then what the hell am I doing? Am I right? After I kind of settled down, I was officially out of Cimarelli. I no longer did the things that I used to do. I had a whole new life, new husband, new church. I mean, I'm not even religious anymore, but I grew up super Catholic. I'm not really religious anymore. I believe in God, but not religious. Again, another time to talk about that. That's another time. I moved to LA. I moved out of Tennessee, which is where my family lives right now. And my husband became a successful musician. He's still on the come up or whatever, but he used to be kind of a failing musician. And now he actually has like Spotify listeners and a record deal. And he started going on tours. He started opening for people this year. And then he's going on a headlining tour in a couple months. But I just feel like every day I lean more and more into my independence and my adulthood and my autonomy. And it is the best feeling in the world. So I want to talk more about this and I want to tell you guys about my life and where I'm at right now and whatever. But this is getting kind of long and I don't want to bore you guys. And I'm honestly getting kind of bored myself and my friends coming over. So let me know what you guys thought of this. If you want me to continue doing this, if I should just become a podcaster, because TBH, I'm having a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. So let me know. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Goodbye.